How one man became a multimillionaire mere weeks after his longtime girlfriend kicked him out. Your life can change in an instant without you even knowing it. Well, at least not right away. But that's what happens when you play the lottery. You play because you hope you're gonna win millions. But deep down inside, you know that the odds aren't in your favor. But what would you do if you found out that you picked the winning lottery numbers? Would you buy yourself a new car? Buy your mom a house? Rub your new fortune in your ex's stupid face? These are just some of the questions that needed answers when one UK man became a multimillionaire after his girlfriend kicked him out. There's a woman in the UK who was probably kicking herself after she learned that Paul Long, the man she'd split up with over a month earlier, had won $13 million in lottery winnings. Lottery winner Paul Long, who's 55 and from Wickford, Essex, had an amicable split from his girlfriend of 5 years, Julie West, who's 52. On February 1st, 2018, he'd moved out of their shared home. Then, one seemingly typical Saturday, Long played the lottery and won approximately £9.3 million, which is over $13 million US, from a lucky dip lottery ticket. But initially, he didn't bat an eyelash, because the way he found out was exhilarating to say the least. Long claimed he'd only had about $10 in his account. I woke up the next morning and had an email that I thought said I'd won £9,000. He forwarded the email to his friend, who informed him he'd actually won millions. Long reached out to the Lotto helpline to confirm that he was the only winner. He even asked them if this was a scam. It wasn't. All of a sudden, my phone's red hot. Everybody loves you, he told the Mirror. When his favorite team, the Leyton Orient FC, won 3-0 against Woking in the National League, Paul was on such a high that he bought the lucky dip lottery ticket that ended up turning him into an instant millionaire. He was with his ex-girlfriend, Julie West, the day he won the lottery. She asked if I wanted to stay over on the way back from football on Saturday to look after the cat because she was away. Long told the Mirror that his ex-girlfriend was probably gutted after learning he won $13 million on the lottery. Who wouldn't be? Long himself probably would have been devastated if the situation had been reversed, though. Long and his ex may no longer be together, but he claimed that he would not necessarily deny her the benefits of his new fortune. "You never know, I might take her for a holiday or a meal," he told the Mirror. When West was approached by the Mirror and asked if she was happy for Long, she simply shrugged and said, "I suppose so," but claimed that Long was out of order for assuming that she was gutted, which she wanted to be clear about. Long is a former Dagenham Ford plant worker who was looking for a new job that would help make his monthly payments. But just as he was struggling to make ends meet, he won the lottery, which to most people is nothing but a wild fantasy. But for Long, this was the beginning of a new life. Long had worked at the Ford plant for over a decade, but he injured his Achilles tendon pulling a suitcase up the stairs. This resulted in his unemployment, which at Long's age was a horrible situation to find yourself in. But now that he's a millionaire, he's no longer looking for work. Discovering that he was a millionaire was a total shocker. "I have to admit it's been a crazy few days, and it's only been in the last 24 hours that I've dared to believe it's real," he told the Mirror. Once his new reality started to sink in, he decided to celebrate with a bottle of beer, a cup of tea, and a big meal that involved chicken, steak, and ribs. As you can imagine, Long was also planning to do some shopping as well. Long probably wouldn't have even thought about playing the lottery if his favorite football team, the Leyton Orient, hadn't won. So he did consider using his winnings to support them financially. Orient CEO Danny Macklin went to the Camelot press conference to congratulate Long and invite him to watch a home game against Maidenhead United. Now that he was loaded, he hoped to convince Long in investing in his favorite team. Long was on the fence about investing his money in the Leyton Orient because the team's main investor, Kent Teague, had admitted that he would likely lose money with the team. Long told the Mirror that the investment was way too risky for someone like him. "I haven't got as many millions to lose as Kent." Still, he isn't closed off to the possibility of helping in other ways, like through sponsorship. If the Orient's Macklin is holding out hope, he probably shouldn't hold out for long to invest in the football club he's been a fan of since he was 11. Meanwhile, Long feels that his ex-wife Lisa is happy for him because his newly acquired funds will help support the 3 grown-up children they had together when they were married. He now has the chance to buy season tickets for himself and his son Elliot, but he has no intention of making his kids instant millionaires. "I think they should learn the value of things," he told the mirror. "I want to give them a life where I know they're going to be all right," Long continued, telling the mirror about his kids. "So he might buy a few properties for them as well as himself, but he won't buy a mansion or spoil them rotten." Thinking of other ways to treat himself now that money's not an issue, lottery winner Paul Long told the mirror that he'd like to take a holiday, but that he won't spend a week in a caravan because he'd like to enjoy some sunshine. Long believes this money will give him the chance to make those closest to him smile. "The future is going to be very, very rosy. But it's not just my rosy journey. I fully intend to take everyone on the journey with me," he told the mirror. Money probably won't change him much. However, Long did put about $320 as a deposit on a Ford EcoSport that wasn't really that flashy at a car show. He also joked that he might switch to a posher brand of tea, which he can absolutely now afford.